they coming for me, then it's about to get violent. I don't let nobody speak on my name. Teach them a lesson, don't try it again. I work too hard for what I became. Whole lot of enemies acting like friends. I don't need any advice from people who never step foot in this life. I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time to listen to what they are saying. Where were they at when I was by myself? Where were they at when I needed help? Where were they at when the bills weren't paid and they didn't believe I'd make it here? I still remember, I still remember, I still remember what I was told. Now they be coming back around thinking we cool, but really to me they I'm moving forward, I don't need anyone bringing me down. To me they building a fortress. If they be breaking and entering, then I'ma leave them. Keeping a sword whenever I'm ready for battle, then they all be ending up. I'm talking lyrically, I'm not promoting no violence, I'd rather have peace the most. The crown is heavy, but I make it fit. Battle tested, I'm well equipped. God got me, I'm heaven sent. They already know I never miss. Opportunity knocking, I'ma go answer it. Got me feeling like Kyrie when I got a problem, how I handle it. Responsibility come with power, but these people gonna mishandle. They be moving with bad intention, not a role model, they a bad example. I've been out here trying to motivate since day one, never in a scandal. One day they remember me as a young king who led the masses. I'm moving forward, I don't need anyone bringing me down. To me they building a fortress. If they be breaking and entering, then I'ma leave them. Keeping a sword whenever I'm ready for battle, then they all be ending up. I'm talking lyrically, I'm not promoting no violence, I'd rather have peace the most. I've been feeling kinda lonely. I don't wanna talk cause nobody really know me. Carrying a lot on my shoulders and I know that I'm alone. I've been dealing with my nightmares every time I'm looking and it's right there. I cannot hide from anything, I gotta let it go. I be pushing them away, I guess I'm better by myself. I be trying to put a finger on it, but it's hard to tell what the problem is. Fighting my way out of it, I ain't giving up because I came a little too far to quit. Yeah, they say that time heals everything. I waited for a while, trying to fit into my shoes. Bet you couldn't walk a mile, cause this life ain't what it seems. I think the devil got a hold of me, yeah. I've been feeling kinda lonely. I don't wanna talk cause nobody really know me. Carrying a lot on my shoulders and I know that I'm alone. I've been dealing with my nightmares every time I'm looking and it's right there. I cannot hide from anything, I gotta let it go. I think success is like a drug and I cannot get enough. I be trying to say I'm good, but I'm calling my own bluff. I done seen a lot of highs, but I visit rock bottom every once in a while. I be feeling like I'm nothing. I be trying to get outside of my own head, it's my enemy. Talking to that voice, hearing everything is said to me. Tell me I'm not good enough or tell me I'm the greatest. It be going back and forth depending on whatever day it is. I've been feeling kinda lonely. I don't wanna talk cause nobody really know me. Carrying a lot on my shoulders and I know that I'm alone. I've been dealing with my nightmares every time I'm looking and it's right there. I cannot hide from anything, I gotta let it go. I wanna be great, I never been average. Every day I'm living it lavish, one of a kind, I'm reaching the masses. They wanna race, I'm moving the fastest, get out my way. I'm too competitive, I'll never settle for anything less. I put my foot on the pedal, my foot on their neck, and I don't have no time to rest. I'm going Monday to Monday, I've been on the grind. Still on the journey, I'm taking my time. Come for the king, but they cut in the line. Nobody taking what's meant to be mine. I gotta go and put them in their place. Been on a roll like I got a race. Climbing my way to the top of the hill, been at it so long, fell in love with the chase. I'ma refill like a reload, all grown up, I'm killing my ego. Beating the game, no cheat code. Been getting that bread like I'm Gambino. What they all do not better than me though. Went from a kid to a CEO. Check my account and I count 6 zeros. Put in that work and I get what I'm owed, yeah. Step in the ring and I go undefeated. I still got that dog in me, I gotta feed it. They not on my level, they all be beneath it. It's been in my blood, but they be anemic. The way that I made it, they thinking I cheated. I never let jealousy happen to me, cause I always keep winning and winning. Ain't nobody I'd rather be. If I say that I'ma do it to the fullest. I'm not out here playing games, I be trying to keep it moving. I got money on my mind and I know I'm getting to it. And they tell me I'm the one, yeah, but I already knew it. Putting that weight all on my shoulders, all of my day ones move like soldiers. Everyone play their role, I'm coaching. Getting these rings, I feel like Jordan. I've been up late night, early mornings, putting in work while they be snoring. Get the reward, I spend like tokens. Feeding my fam, that's most important, yeah. I got the money and I got respect. I don't need nothing, I'm good where I'm at. I seen the motive of people I met. My circle is small, I keep it like that. I don't let haters get me out of line, cause their life is never comparing to mine. I've been too busy exploring the world, cause nothing worth more than my time. And I never ran out of ammo. Killing these beats, I feel like Rainbow. Keeping my moves on the down low, cause they wanna be me, but they can't though. They been trying to sink my ship Titanic, but I just keep coming back automatic. I don't have time to ever go panic. Keep going strong till my problems vanish. I've been doing the most, 100% I be keeping control. I made the beat and I added the flow. Nobody do it like this anymore. All of my grudges, I'm letting them go. I had to let all the hate out my soul. I'm only focused on building my legacy. Everything go how it meant to be, let it unfold. If I say that I'ma do it to the fullest. I'm not out here playing games, I be trying to keep it moving. I got money on my mind and I know I'm getting to it. And they tell me I'm the one, yeah, but I already knew it. I want the world, yeah, I want the world. Yeah, I want it all, said I want the world. Yeah, I want the world. I'm coming to get it, don't care what you heard. Don't care what you heard. I'm taking it all cause I want the world. Yeah, I want the world. Yeah, I want the world. It's too easy, feeling too comfortable. I don't think I can be satisfied. 2015 thought I had it all. Watch it all slow down just overnight. Never forget about the younger life. Wrong decisions led to sacrifice. A blessing in disguise got me working overtime. Now I'm on top like LeBron. I'm ripping the beats. I'm becoming the beats and they smelling defeat when they come for me. Everyone looking around and they wondering how did these blessings all come to me. Started recording in bedrooms and now I've been turning my name to a company. They copying all of my moves. They think I'ma lose. I think it's a compliment. I'm never gonna settle. I always want more. I'm counting accomplishments. They making up lies. They jealous inside, but work is what got me in. There's no time to waste, I'm busy like 24 hours a day, responding to everything.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to Monday, Jason.
Welcome. Happy Monday. Good morning to you, sir.
We made it one full week this week. One full week.
I mean, we're going to have to make it through another one.
We got 52 more to go. How was your first week back at the office?
Full throttle.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else that describes it, but it was people back from vacation. Everybody was like, "Hey, I'm rested. I'm infused with energy. I've got clarity on what we're working on." Several people said, "Man, I should take a week or two off more often."
Yeah.
I was like, "I agree.
Yeah.
Taking time off is healthy." So, yeah, we were super swamped last week. This week is going to be no different.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, listen, like I think it, I think we talked a little bit about this like pre-vacation break and I understand like everybody's still taking a little while to kind of get back into the groove of everything. I mean, listen, like taking 2 weeks off, like you find a little bit of a chill rhythm after 52 weeks of absolute high throttle activity. But I think that I think it continues to accentuate exactly what you said. Taking time off and decompressing consistently throughout the year is key to being a high-performing individual.
Yeah. I mean, multiple people said, just you work with no break, you're just sort of, just working on momentum, and your steam is running low, and your creativity is running low.
So let
And
me let me let me ask you
those are the
something.
biggest things.
Are you a New Year's resolution kind of guy?
I'm not really,
No,
now.
no.
How about you?
Uh I'm a goals oriented dude. Last
That's
year, yeah,
that's
last
more
year on
like
the
it.
stream, we talked a little bit about goals at the beginning of the year last year, and we kind of gave some pointers on people on how to do their goals for the year. And we
Yeah.
encouraged people to hop over to Discord and like post their goals on our Discord. And that seemed to work really, really well for people. But what goals do you have for this year?
Oh, you want me to share them right now?
I'd love for you to share them. Like, what do you
Yeah.
keep them secret?
Well, I mean, we have company goals. I have
Yeah.
personal goals.
I'm not asking you what I'm at. Whatever goals you want to share. What do you feel comfortable
Yeah.
sharing?
Yeah. No, I this year I really want to focus in on our product as a company, just product growth. And I don't necessarily mean growth in numbers of users on our platform, but like breadth and depth of our product. I'm a big believer that, the product as it's successful in the space is gonna take hold and take fire,
Mm,
and just grab. So this year I'm excited to just put a lot more focus and attention in on our product. The second thing is our people.
mm,
I really want to help our people achieve their goals, both
mm.
inside BitLift, and outside personally.
Yeah.
Um, we have a great culture inside BitLift, and I just want to make sure that we continue to sort of fuel that.
Yeah.
And I know that's a lot of people's mantra out there, but a lot of people talk to me and they're like, oh, the culture's not great here. It's a lot of individuals working for their own individual,
Person,
uh,
their own successes, their own
their own
desires.
successes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
could care less if the team succeeds together or not, So, and then, uh, my personal goal is, I want to plant. I'd like to plant another 400 or 500 trees this year.
Four or
So
500 trees?
yeah, yeah, chestnut trees to be
Are they
specific.
in your yard?
They're
Or
in
just
they're in the property that I own. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Interesting.
So
What does chestnut trees get you other than chestnuts?
um, they get you chestnuts.
Okay.
But in 5 years from now, they'll start to bear chestnuts, and then in 10 and 12 years, they'll start to reach maturity. I'm growing culinary grade chestnuts. That if you go over to like China, uh, Asia, just there's a lot of Chinese and Asian cuisines, that the base is sort of made from Chinese chestnuts. Um, and here in the United States, we import like something like 97% of our chestnuts into the United States. Um, Somebody said to me last week, well, wow, that sounds like a very niche thing to grow.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, there's probably only like 2 dozen, maybe 3 dozen actual farm orchards across the United States that are growing chestnuts.
Wow. Wow. Welcome to Cyber Insecurity, folks, where we talk about cyber threats and chestnuts.
And chestnuts.
Things I did not expect to learn on a Monday about chestnuts. All right, Jason, let's get into it. Let's hit the rules really, really fast. For everybody listening, thanks everybody tuning in for Monday morning. My name is Neal Bridges. I'm here with my co-host Jason Miller, CEO of BitLift. We're trying something new today. So in addition to streaming across all of our usual platforms, we do have a space on X that hopefully is working audio only. Let me know if you can't hear this on X for some reason. We had to do some funky routing to do so. But thanks, everybody, for joining in this morning. Thanks, Fixit, for coming to raid us with your team. Hopefully you had a good and awesome stream over there. This is our Monday morning threat brief. We do this every single Monday morning. Jason and I sit down here for an hour, and we kind of digest the weekly threats from the week before across the entire landscape, the things that he thinks are interesting, the things that I think they're interesting, and kind of what they mean to you for a day-to-day basis. You can expect more and more of these as we go throughout the entirety of 2026. With that being said, we have a couple rules in chat. First and foremost, no racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, or otherwise toxic behavior inside of chat at all. Zero. We have a zero tolerance policy for it. We do have moderators in chat. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our moderators for their continued and utmost support of the stream. They're here to keep chat free of racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, and otherwise toxic behavior. They're not here, however, to stifle chat or questions by any stretch, any way, shape, or form. They're here to encourage civil discourse with your fellow cybersecurity practitioners. So please post your questions, comments, concerns, etc. inside of chat, and we'll do our absolutely best to grab them, push them up on screen, and chat with everybody. With that out of the way, Jason.
Yeah.
I rarely talk about breaches because they seem to be so profound. But I remember as we were prepping for this morning, I remember thinking, dear God, we're only 2 weeks into the year, and it feels like we've had an ungodly number of breaches. We just heard yesterday about some 17 million user accounts that were hacked out of Instagram's API yesterday. The Illinois Department of Health and Human Services had a 700,000 person breach. And it's not just businesses that are getting popped. This last week, breach forums, which is a very, very popular, I don't want to say skid, type of website, but, it's one of those more populated, open internet type of forums for illicit activity, was also popped. They had their database leaked with 324,000 accounts from breach forums. So it's not just the Instagrams and the Health and Human Services, but the hacker websites are getting popped too.
Hey, while you're popping, your commercial friends, why don't you pop your neighbors too?
Yeah. You remember Transformers? I think it was like the second one when Sam goes to college and then they like go to the deli and it's like, you remember that, that website with that Game Boy level security? Like that's how I imagine like some of these like anti-hacker groups are when they're like trying to hack each other's websites.
Hack each other, yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, outside of, let me say this piece real quick and I'll flip it over to you. Outside of like the normal business of like user accounts hacked at like, the Department of Health and Human Services, Illinois, Instagram, etc., the breach forum hack I think is the most interesting one to talk about in my opinion, because those are people who you can really tell whether they've got good OPSEC or not when they do their illicit activity, and wonder if a few of them are going to get a couple knocks on the doors from the FBI here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting to me that, you'd sort of like play in that space and test it out and see if it's, see what's going to happen to you,
Which would you rather be caught, Jason? In an Ashley Madison database dump or a breach forums database dump?
Breach forums. Breach forums. Because the other one has very bad complications. The other one could be end of life. You will be EOL at that point.
You'd be end of life at that one.
Yeah.
I get this, like, you remember the original Tron with the master computer, which is funny, right? Because it's called the MCP, the Master Control Protocol. What's the thing that we're using to interface with all the AI? MCP?
MCP.
Oh, coincidence? Coincidence?
It always comes back around. I mean, like you just look at this. About every decade, right? The stuff just comes back around.
Mm-hmm.
I actually read an article last week where somebody was talking about that cloud storage was becoming too expensive, and cloud storage was too insecure, and they're actually contemplating putting files and data and storage back on prem that they could better secure it. And I'm like, have we reached that point where cloud storage price is starting to increase to that level? And have we, and people are just now realizing that cloud storage is insecure. Like if you don't get away from the default settings.
So here's what I'll tell you. I have seen a lot. I've seen a lot of people talk about going from cloud back to on-prem. It has been amazing the last 12 months to see the articles of people who have come out and been like, it's actually more cost effective for me to be on-prem than it is in the cloud.
Well, you use the CapEx, the expenditure, and budget for it, or lease the equipment. And in a lot of ways, yes, it was cheaper. Now, at the time, if you think about it, though, what was missing was a lot of ease and flexibility and connectivity. That was a selling point for, probably the last 5-10 years, is that you could go out to the cloud with this and it easily connects, and it's centralized out in the cloud, and it's no longer behind these four walls. And so it wasn't just price alone, but the funny thing is when you look at something like Gemini, right? I would highly encourage you to sort of audit your Google Drive files before you turn on Gemini. Because if you just go turn on Gemini, and even though you're in a paid for subscription, one of my conspiracy theories is like they're still going to come out and they're still going to say, oh yeah, even though you were using a paid for subscription, somehow or another, our model learned on your data. We're not sure why. We believe it's a bug. We're super sorry, but we can't undo it.
But you know what? You're completely fine. You don't have a conspiracy theory that because your files exist in Google Drive, they're not doing that already. Like, you're comfortable with your SaaS agreement now that they're not touching your Google Drive files at all right now.
Because we trust them.
You got to trust somebody in this space. You got to trust. Apparently, you can't trust the admins breach forums though with security.
No. Not that they're going to have proper security processes and protocols.
My thing with this will always be this, like, and again, like, I catch flack for this, but I'm 100% serious. When I say this does not believe that I don't believe in data privacy, but your data privacy is dead. You have no data privacy. It is non-existent. Companies don't care. The government doesn't care. Sysadmins don't care. Security people don't care. Maybe I shouldn't say that on stream. Maybe security people do care. Maybe security people are the only ones who do care. I don't know. But the majority of the people in this universe and in this ecosystem and in this job market, quite frankly, just do not care enough to protect your data.
Yeah. And there's this, I've heard people say in the last several years, like, and these were C-suite people, CIOs and CFOs and all the rest would say, well, they're a bigger company than we are. Yeah. They are Amazon, or they're Microsoft, or they're Google, or
they're Instagram.
Yeah. They have larger teams than we do. They have more money than we do. They absolutely have to be doing cybersecurity better than we are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you shouldn't let your ignorance show so much. Like, put your ignorance away, because that is dangerous statements, because the proof is, go back and read all the headlines for the last couple of years, and it's all of these large companies.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you something. Do you think Instagram has got a SOC too? ISO 27001? PCI DSS? I mean, how many times has PwC or Deloitte or KPMG or whoever been in there auditing them?
Yeah.
How could they possibly let this happen with all these compliance frameworks?
Well, Neal, you're actually what you're trying to state here is that compliance is security. And that's that's not real.
No, but but I paid for it. I paid for it,
Yeah.
Jason. I paid for that sock too. Therefore, I'm compliant.
Yeah.
I can't, dude. Like this is, and it irks me because it's like people don't realize it's indiscriminate crime. It is indiscriminate. It doesn't care about your certifications. It doesn't care about your attestations. It doesn't care about your security stack. It doesn't care about your EDR. It doesn't care about your firewall.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're bringing this up because, and I'm hoping people like take this to other people and share the concept here. But the concept is that you could have the best of the best. You could have all of the audits and the certifications. Now, those third party audits may prove that you're doing a good effort, right? But yeah, thumbs up. You paid 50, 100,000, 100,000, maybe even a couple of $1 million, for all of the certifications and certificates that you have accomplished. But still, at the end of the day, and this is actually getting to something I wanted to talk to. So you're pressing in on a point here, but that cyber breaches, attacks, data leaks, all of it will still happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is the thing is then what we have seen is it is the person. There is always it seems like always somebody on the team that wants to immediately revert to blame.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They revert to, well, who
Right.
did this?
Right.
Right. And we've either heard it, well, oh, well, that person's no longer here, or
It was an intern.
intern, or it's somebody on the team, right, that they don't like, that they try and figure out how to pin it against, right? And this is why
this is real, chat. I want you to hear this is real. And it happens, Jason. I don't know if you were going to cover this or not. It happens in the middle of an incident. The world is on fire, and people are trying to put blame in the middle of an incident.
Yeah. And we've even had to say, hey, team, these thoughts and words right now are not helpful towards what we're all trying to drive after at the moment. Maybe this could be discussed later on, but let's actually focus on the thing that's at hand here that we actually need to focus on. I want to talk for just a minute about this because what I feel like is important is that I don't necessarily have the need for everybody to agree with me.
That's good because I rarely agree with you.
I know you rarely agree with me, but is this the time when we should pull out the blame? Or should we realize, you know what, as a team, we were doing the best that we could. As a team, we made decisions together. As a team, we bought and put in configurations in place that everybody agreed with. Or maybe you didn't agree, but you agreed to come back later and reassess. I mean, there is always negotiation around what we can get done, right? And what we can't get done, and how much it's going to cost. But I have seen better success. I have seen people get less cyber attacks and a whole lot less breaches and a lot less problems in the cybersecurity space inside the organization when the team of individuals, everybody from top down, is working together and not arguing and not placing blame. And there is this good, healthy culture inside that team that says, we're in it together. We're going to either live or die together in this, right? And I think that that's something really important because I've seen both sides. I've seen unhealthy environments and I've seen healthy environments.
So I am gonna argue with you on this. It sans one point. I will 100% agree that in the middle of an incident is not the time to be doing any form of attribution, either locally or remotely, right? Not the form. And I try, Deer brings up a really good point here about having a postmortem or an after action review to kind of talk about it. But I think that we as humans are incapable of having a meritocratic discussion about fault.
Yeah.
There is no world that exists in any company anywhere where you can have a truly meritocratic discussion about fault because of egos, because of emotions, because of liability, because of lawyers, because of compliance frameworks. There is no place in the world to have a real conversation about liability.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that it shouldn't happen, but that's why that's why AARs, postmortems, that's why lessons learned are always skipped. Whether you like it or not, they're skipped because nobody wants to hurt other people's feelings. Nobody wants to get their feelings hurt. You know, if you go and tell the CEO that his account got popped because IT failed to implement MFA last year, which was on their project plan, it comes back and it hurts them and it hurts their org, and then they're going to make it harder for you to implement your next project. They're going to stand in your way. They're going to put 900 levels of processes in front of you for you to go do the next project you want to do, and it is going to be an absolute miserable experience. Okay, soapbox down.
The other side of that is, and I encourage this even within our team, you have to have honesty to the nth degree, all the way to the very end. Even if it means that you got to say, I failed to do something, and then you followed up with, I failed to do something because of X, Y, and Z, whether I didn't want to do it or I didn't get to do it because of such and such. The project failed because of third party or something else. But this is where I think as the human race, we aren't honest and transparent with one another because we believe the moment that we are going to be honest and transparent with one another, we're going to be judged by the other team. And we don't know what their judgment is going to be. But if we agree and we enter the room of the conversation that we're both going to be reasonable individuals, and you give me reasons why something didn't happen the way that it was supposed to, the way that you promised or the way that you agreed it was, like in a sprint or something, well then, I can't give you bad judgment unless it's warranted. But maybe the bad judgment is, well, listen, you've done this once, let's work on improving it. But if it's like third, fourth, fifth time, well, then we got to call it out. You don't fulfill your promises. That's a deeper issue,
So Terry brings up part of this in this question, right? Terry says, is it always a case where someone has to lose their job, or can it just be where our deficiency, if it's technical or awareness, is not worth scheduling training? And I think that that's exactly what we're talking about, Terry, is that we have been conditioned, 90% of humans have been conditioned from the time we were kids that if you do something wrong, there is punishment. Whatever it is, taking a sucker from your brother or sister, kicking your brother or sister in the shins, like it doesn't matter. There is consequences that happen that we've been embedded with since we were a kid. And so if Jason forgets to implement MFA across the entire org, and somebody who has access to the finances gets popped, their password gets compromised, and $1 million BEC happens against BidLift. Not saying that it will, but just giving a scenario. Somebody is conditioned that they have to own the responsibility, and ultimately that responsibility has to come with consequences. So whose responsibility was it? Is it person A because they clicked on the phishing email? Is it Jason because he failed to implement MFA? Is it the rest of the org because they failed to push Jason to make MFA a priority? Like, whose fault is it? Somebody has to have fault, and there has to be consequences for that fault, because that's how we've been trained in the human condition. And that's what makes after action reviews challenging, is because somebody has to get blamed, and that blame always comes with consequences.
I take this stance, and it's my stance. Doesn't have to be anybody else's, but I take this stance. This is my stance: is that if we're ever going to become better, we have to put the flag in the ground and say, this is we're going to agree to be different.
Yeah.
Now, I get if there is habitual, continual bad behavior, different. But if we're talking about where there's these one-off situations where, like, let's assess, let's say I come in every day, I do the rest of my job as asked, I fulfill all the rest of my things, my projects, my job requirements. We communicate as a team. Other people on the team knew that the MFA wasn't in place because of X, Y, or Z. Well, then I would say this on what you mentioned. One, I believe that there's shared responsibility. There's probably more responsibility on me because maybe I wasn't the loud voice that said this must go in and here's the date and the deadline. But then, maybe other people didn't realize the consequences that could be here. And then I would say training for the individual that clicked on the thing. Now, it's not 100% their fault. It's not 100% my fault. This is why it's shared responsibility. Multiple things failed, not just one person. So I would say in this scenario, if this was going on in the organization, we take, in your comments there, we take if somebody gets assigned training as a negative thing.
We do 100%.
We do
1,000%.
I'm like, well, so wait a minute. If you went to college, you paid for your college education training, and you paid for it, and you went there, and you probably enjoyed it. Like, I enjoy learning, and learning is training. Training is learning. So, but if you don't know something, and if the company needs you to know it so that you can do your job better and you can become a better human being, I don't understand the downside. Why do we make that a negative thing?
Because we taught people that when you get in trouble driving, whether it's speeding or having an accident or a DUI or whatever the case is, that you have to go take remedial driving training because you're clearly too stupid to understand the rules. So we've got to send you back to training so that you know what the rules are before you can get back on the road. We've created a condition that says if I have to send you back to training, it's because you're not trained and you're a danger.
Yeah.
We have psychologically manipulated people into every bad behavior that is a detriment to the cybersecurity career. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that.
I don't necessarily disagree with you on that, and we have ingrained bad behavior is going to equal some sort of like training.
Yeah.
And I'm, for one, I love training. Like, I love learning more. That's why I think myself and a whole bunch of others love to read books, and you like to read articles and blogs. And it's like, why wouldn't you? Tell me more information so that I can become better knowledgeable and more equipped about this. But yes, you're going to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're going to make mistakes, and hey, I think it's impossible for you to know it all. And you can become, yeah.
Let's add an extra layer to this, and I don't want to overcomplicate this because we beat this scenario up pretty good. That scenario, Jason, with all due respect, was taken from the lens of BitLift, where the distance between you and your direct reports is incredibly small, and the distance between your plus ones is incredibly small.
Right.
In big organizations that I've been a part of, right, there's a lot of layers of lawyering that happens between something happening and somebody getting blamed, where there is, do we have to report this to the street? Is this a material incident that has to go into our 8K or our 10K? Is there state or regional laws that we have to preserve evidence for, or provide, protections against, or whatever the case is? Is there a GDPR fine that has to come in that we may have to pay attention to? So the lawyers add to this feeling of consequences and punishability whenever there is a failure of cybersecurity controls.
Yeah. Well, then let's leave this topic
Yep,
at
absolutely.
this. Inside your organization, it's up to you whether training,
Yep.
on the job betterment is going to be felt like punishment, or it's going to have a positive effect on people. I think it's really up to you and your organization and how you're going to carry that out culturally.
I think the only thing I'd add on to that is use this conversation as reference when you're thinking, why did Jane or Bob click on that phishing email? Why won't they ever tell me when they got a phishing email? Why can't we just accept responsibility? Just understand that it's a multifaceted, a multi-layered problem.
Yeah. It's because you ran up to my cubicle, you chewed me out in front of everybody, and then I felt awful and sick, and my anxiety went through the roof, and the next day I had to bring my dog in. That was it.
It's okay, Jason. Go to your safe space. Go to your safe space, Jason.
I know.
Speaking of safe spaces, let's talk about North Korea for a second. Since we're on the topic of phishing. FBI is putting out some advance notices because, the FBI is always on the leading front of cyber threat intelligence.
Totally.
Surprisingly,
they know before everybody else.
They know before everybody else. And in their infinite wisdom, they've decided to share with people that North Korea's spear phishing attacks are using malicious QR codes. Did you know that? Whoa!
Malicious QR codes.
Thank you, FBI. Thank you. This is why InfraGard failed.
Do you know there's like some 60, 65, 70-year-old guys somewhere with plenty of gray hair, and we're like, we're still here. InfraGard didn't fail. I was hoping you'd laugh and spit that back up. You're actually touching on another topic that I wanted to get into. Okay, so you're reading and seeing this activity from North Korea. Over the weekend, they also announced some Iranian-linked.
We're going nation state. We're switching to nation state.
We're talking nation state here, right?
All right.
So you got North Korea saying, "Hey, our cybersecurity folks are going to be, hard at it with you guys." You got Iran and Iranian-linked groups doing the same thing. Hey, we're going to be attacking, the Middle East folks as well as the U.S. because we don't like the tension. Blah blah blah. Right. All while us here back at home have to defend our organizations as if we are the police.
Are you trying to say that we should be? Are you trying to have yet another hackback conversation? Like, is this what you're trying to lead towards? Are you trying to say we should be able to hack back against North Korea phishing email campaigns? Are you even sophisticated enough, Jason, to be able to detect and respond to QR phishing attacks? Quishing. Are you sophisticated enough for quishing attacks?
No. But I have AI. And I can go use AI, and I can fire back. I can be vibe coding in 5 minutes from now. All I'm trying to highlight here is that as these activities are happening in front of us, we need to be very, very vigilant because we are going to be responsible for protecting the entities. Like, there isn't enough CISA people. There isn't enough Secret Service. There isn't enough FBI that are going to come and help us as individual
I disagree with
private
you.
businesses.
I hard disagree with you. I fought this fight when I got out of the Air Force. I thought that everybody needed to be paying attention to nation state actors. And it quickly became absolutely apparent that nobody gave a shit about nation state attackers. And it absolutely infuriated me. This was 2013, 2014. I'd literally come right out of operating at the NSA. I don't know if you guys know that or not at Chat, but I spent 7 years at the NSA. And I literally just left a briefing on Iran targeting financial institutions, and I was going to work for a financial institution, and I was like, hey, Iran is actively targeting financial institutions. We should be thinking about, right, like, what are we going to do to protect ourselves from Iran? I kid you not, dude. That entire org was like, Iran? I got more problems down at the credit card POS machine than I got with Iran. I'll stick with dealing with these problems than Iran. And like, I mean, it's just like they did not care. Getting an organization to care about Iran is damn near impossible. Unless you're in energy, nuclear, or public infrastructure.
Yeah.
Zero cares.
I think it's to their, to their destiny then.
You think so?
I mean, well, I mean, you think about it. I think where a lot of this stuff comes from, the makings, lots of great ideas, you call them, is some of the well-paid nation state people release their malware, their rats and other things. And I mean, eventually others read it, look at it, dissect it, and the industry gets better.
So you think it's you think it's a leading indicator for what's going to come after, is your take on it?
I think it's possible. I think it's really possible. I mean, we could analyze it and actually see if that's the case, but I think it's absolutely possible.
Here's what eventually like led me down this path. When you look at how a modern SOC is built, when you look at how a modern security org is built out, right? You've got a SecOps team, you've got a security architecture team, you've got a GRC team, and let's just leave it at those three pillars just for the sake of simplicity, right? And inside the SOC, you've got analysts, you've got hunters, maybe you're lucky you've got a threat intel dude who does some threat intelligence if you're lucky. You almost never have forensics, you almost never have reverse engineers, on staff. It's probably 50-50 whether you even got a pen tester on staff or not. Your architects are busy.
You just described 1% of the organizations in the United States.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and so when you think about your ability to decide how you're going, let's put on military hat just for the sake of the conversation. If you had to decide how you were going to deploy your forces to be the most effective at defending the organization, you do not have the skills, the capabilities, the intelligence infrastructure to even remotely compete in that arena. And back to our bashing of the InfraGard, right? The InfraGard is not going to help you with Iran IOCs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so for a second, set Iran aside. Set the nation aside for a second. I think what you're doing is maybe you are drilling down into organizations all of a sudden now have, they used to have tons of physical security. Maybe even those organizations still do have lots of physical security, cameras, people walking around and, with a badge on, saying, hey, I'm from the security department. But they're also organizations now also have to have this digital security department, right? That has to fight against the same exact thing that the FBI, the Secret Service, and all the rest have to fight against, right? No matter what size the organization is, they all have to fight against the same thing.
I think you're describing. I think you're describing a utopia that we would love to see. Like, and maybe I'm jaded. Call me out if you think I'm jaded on this, but I don't. I just don't fundamentally think. Back to my thing about security, I don't fundamentally think that organizations care enough to invest in the cybersecurity infrastructure needed to provide a holistic approach to security when all they're focused on is their compliance checkbox.
Yeah. And I guess that's the sad part, is because the compliance checkbox isn't cybersecurity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But the reality is no matter whether the organization is 5,000, 50,000 people in size or 15 people in size, it's not like the hackers are writing different sets of code. Like, oh, my ICP and my ideal target for this code is a Fortune 500 company.
My bad, Jason. I didn't mean to hack you. You're not exactly my ICP. I'm going to move on to somebody else.
Right. You don't owe me that one Bitcoin, you know.
Let me clear something up for chat really quick, just in case there's a little concern in my cynicism, right? Jason is 100% correct. Jason, you're 100% right. We should be looking at these as leading indicators. QR code phishing is a giant problem that is not unique to North Korea. We've seen it, 2 years now we've seen QR code phishing, and the FBI is just now telling us about it. Like we've known about this for a while. Like hell, I think when QR menus started to appear in 2019 and 2020 around the COVID time period, we were all already talking about like, oh yeah, these are great attack vectors, right? For phishing. Yeah. The problem is the problem is that nobody is talking about how to defend against them. We have a little bit of an intelligence disconnect between security researchers, or even like those of us in the community that love to read up on this stuff and see these new techniques, and then put out valuable content that says, here's how you protect against it. You know what we do instead? We say, well, just don't scan QR codes. Duh. Why didn't I think of that? Jeez.
So glad you told me that.
What a prolific statement you just made there. If I just didn't scan that QR code. I don't know why I didn't think of that. God.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why we suck at cybersecurity.
I got to tell you this, though, because 2 years ago, I'm at a conference, like one of the conferences that I met you at a couple years ago. I'm at a conference standing at the booth, and we had a QR code on our table. Now, it was a legitimate one. This guy,
you were like, fine until you did this, Jason.
Yeah. But this person walked up to me, and this person said, how do I know that the malware isn't in that QR code? And so I picked it up, and I was like, well, you see this box right here? This box is shaped a little different, so I can guarantee you.
You did not. You did not do that. You did not. I would love to believe that you did that, but I don't think that you did.
I did.
Holy cow.
I did. And for a moment there, this person absolutely believed me. And I was like, oh, shoot. Like, I realized this person believed me. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I have to clarify. I can't leave it right here like this, because I would feel bad if you walked away.
I know which box to look at to determine if a QR code's got malware on it. Can you imagine him saying that to his friends later that night in the bar?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. But I just had to share that with you because I thought of it while you were talking.
And that's the problem, gentlemen. That's the problem.
It really is wild. It really is wild. Like, you go to shows. I think I won't talk about conferences for too long because last time we bashed it, but Go to
You mean we have
conferences.
constructive comments on this stream? I couldn't tell.
Constructive comments here. But I think in 1 year, I went to something like 26 or 28, maybe 30. 30 might be stretching it, but let's say around 26 or 28 conferences in 1 year. Took the BitLift booth, around to all these and met a lot of great people, right? But I was amazed. I walked away from some of those conferences and shows of people that had clearly been they had been in their job for a while. These people that I'm talking about were like, 30, 40, 50 years old. And when I would be saying things to them, I could tell, their engagement level.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to keep it high level because we're at a booth. You're going to talk to somebody for like 30 seconds or a minute,
Yeah.
And I was really amazed at the amount of people, though, that knew just enough to be dangerous.
Yeah.
And within the cybersecurity realm, and people thought like EDR. They would say, "Well, I have CrowdStrike EDR installed, so that keeps me safe from phishing."
Mm-hmm.
And I would be like, "No, it doesn't. The CrowdStrike EDR agent on your endpoint has nothing to do with keeping you safe from phishing."
Yeah.
And there's like this problem in the space with mixing objectives of technology. And
so I have thoughts on that.
Yeah.
I have thoughts on that.
Okay.
I read an interesting piece over the weekend, and I pulled it up while you were saying this because I want to quote from it. This is a quote from somebody who had done an interview. They had interviewed 213 CISOs as part of a documentary that's coming out, and in their brief, kind of pre-brief before they release their documentary, the statement is unanimously they described the same thing. The higher they climbed, and this is a quote, the higher they climbed, the less cyber their day looked like. Not because security mattered less, but because they were closer to the decisions that determined whether security ever happens at all. And I think what you're describing when you look at it in this lens is that when they have to describe a solution to a stakeholder at that level, you don't have the luxury to explain the nuance of EDR versus Proofpoint.
Right.
What you have to describe is an outcome. And at that level, the outcome is EDR, paying $5 million for CrowdStrike, helps me reduce phishing. And that's the message that gets sent to, unfortunately, the 70% that don't understand the nuance of cybersecurity. And so that's the storyline that they take with them back into the organization.
Yeah.
And then they show up at a conference to see you, and they're uninformed about what it is that they're looking at.
Yep. But yet they got the title CIO or CISO.
Absolutely.
Or CFO or... So wait a minute. I got a question for you. Based on everything you just said.
Yeah, absolutely.
What we're talking about.
Yeah.
Do you think IT should report to the CFO?
No, I think IT is the problem. To the CIO, yes. I thought you said CFO. What I don't think is security should report to the CIO. I still think security should report to the CEO.
I agree. Because why? So I did say CFO.
Yeah.
Because I still see lots of organizations across the United States where the IT department reports to the CFO.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
The CFO?
The IT to the CFO? I've
Oh
seen
my gosh.
I've seen the CIO.
How many organizations
I've seen the CIO
in this report to the CFO?
I'm trying to think. I don't think
I could tell you at least 5 names off the top of my hand right now, which I won't.
Yeah.
But where like the director of IT, there isn't a CIO. The organization's not big enough.
Sure.
But they have a CFO. They have a controller CFO.
Yeah.
And instead of that director of IT reporting to the CEO, the director of IT reports to this CFO.
I've never seen that. I would absolutely balk at that. I would absolutely balk at that.
Chad, am I wrong?
Yeah. If you've seen this, Chad, anywhere across the platforms, like make yourself known. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah. See the problem that I have seen, and we're getting this is that the CFO or the controller of the dollars often typically lacks major understanding of IT.
So the only thing I would disagree. So I have mixed opinions on this from a principality perspective, right? I don't think the CIO should report to finance. I could make a very, very small argument that security could report to finance. I don't like it. I could see a very, very narrow argument in that a risk conversation has, if you don't do this, it will cost you X money. And so I think a CFO would make more financial risk-based decisions that might actually end up benefiting security if the CISO were to report to the CFO. If you had a CISO that could talk money to the CFO. But that's also why I think that the CISO should report to the CEO, is because at the end of the day, the ultimate risk owner is the CEO, and the CISO is a risk advisor to the CEO and to the board of directors. But the CIO, no, the CIO should not report to the CFO at all. That's a horrible decision. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So worked with a regional credit union. They had like 15, 16 locations, a couple hundred people to support those locations, decent size regional credit union. Right. Mm-hmm. And the IT people told us we have to take all of our findings, put a presentation together, and we got to go present it to the CFO to get the blessing. It's who our department truly reports to. And I was amazed by that, because I was like, I don't think the CFO or the controller of the dollars is truly going to understand your IT needs, and based on ops and based on security, and they didn't come from that environment. If they're an accountant and they went to school for accounting and they got a good degree in accounting, they didn't get any degree in IT, and they haven't been in that space long enough.
But is that necessarily the CFO's fault? Like, I mean, listen, if I'm reporting to the CFO,
CFO's fault. Somebody else made that decision.
Well, no, what I mean by that is it's the CIO's fault if they can't communicate to their leader in a way that enables their leader to make a decision. Like, listen, like I may leave Query at some point in time and go be a CISO for an organization where I report to the CIO, which I absolutely despise, the CFO, which I wouldn't hate too bad, chief legal counsel, I'm kind of indifferent on chief legal counsel. But my point is that if I reported to any of them, the way that I frame the security risk to them has to be in a language that they understand to get to the outcomes that we need to get to. So if I'm reporting to the CFO, it is, if you don't buy CrowdStrike at $5 million every year, you run the risk of a 15% revenue hit in GDPR based on our exposure in Europe, and that could equate to $14.5 billion a year. Like, that's a CFO relevant conversation.
Yep.
If it was legal counsel, it'd be the same thing, right? What's the relevant conversation to legal? And so, like, I don't necessarily think that. My point in all that is, if the CIO can't explain to finance the relevancy of a purchase in the IT organization, it's the CIO's problem, not the CFO's problem.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And that's why I wanted to ask you and bring it up, is
Yeah.
because I think that people, I meet a lot of folks, and one of the things is just trying to understand, how do I communicate with the person that's above me, that's helping me make the decision, giving me either approval or denial for this.
100%.
So
100%. All right, we're coming up on time. Did you have one? I had a couple more.
I got I got two things that I want to
Go
mention
for it.
really briefly.
You got two, I
If
got
you're a
one.
Cisco
Let's do
shop,
it.
all right. If you're a Cisco shop, Cisco last week announced that they had a DNS bug in their small business switches, caused reboots.
DNS, man,
due
we don't hear
to-
about DNS issues at all much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's like set it and forget it, right?
Yeah.
Causes reboots due to Cloudflare CNAME changes. Okay, now this only affects those people with Cisco small business switches that left the default configuration of 1.1.1.1 in place. So you need to make sure, if you've got some Cisco small business switches, that you didn't leave it at default configuration, and you don't have that in place. The second thing is ESXi is back under the scope here.
Oh boy.
You probably seen, in 2025 and even 2024, there was lots of 0 days patches. Hopefully you got all those patches in place. But I'm just sharing this with you for the sake of conversation. If you didn't get those patches in place and you're running a VMware ESXi host or hosts that is potentially unpatched and it's back some, what Chinese threat actors, I'm not using nation state, but threat actors are doing right now is they're using compromised SonicWall VPN appliances as their initial access to get in and deploy the VMware ESXi exploit. And so this is actual activity that is being seen in the marketplace, in the wild. And I'm just trying to raise your awareness to it.
It's a great example of a chained exploit, right? So they're using the SonicWall exploit that came out, knowing that they need to get inside to get to the VMware infrastructure to then leverage the internal, probably the allow any that exist in most networks to get to the VMware infrastructure.
And if you're still using allow any,
is that the shaking of the head of disappointment?
I have. I will send you some training. I will send you some training.
Jason does not like any.
I do not like any.
Oh God.
So,
I want to bash VMware, but I know it's not their fault. I know it's Broadcom's fault. Hate to see it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I love the technology. Like VMware as a technology stack is still doing great things. It's still widely adopted and deployed, but we just have to understand these adversaries. You could say, "Oh man, my VMware stack is nice and tightly secured, on the local area network, got everything going." But here's the thing: is chain compromise is taking place.
This is a fantastic. This is a great example of a chain compromise. This is a great example of chain.
And if we're going to make any sort of predictions this year, like one prediction that I have is that we're probably going to see a lot more chained compromise this year.
You think so?
I think so. I think the writing to me is sort of on the wall. Like out of all of the reading that I do and staying kind of aware in the market, I think chain compromise is it's going to be up there. It might not be the number one spot, but I think it would probably be in the top 5.
Do you think
for 2026?
Let me ask you this: since we're talking about predictions for the new year, and let's be, we'll be cognizant of time because I know you've got a meeting that you have to run to at the bottom of the hour. last year we saw a crap ton of 0 days, a lot more 0 days than I think we've seen in it, or at least it feels like we saw so many more than we've seen in a number of years. How do you think this year's going to play in on that?
I mean, I think this is I think this is an easy button to hit. I think AI enables and helps facilitate the 0 day exploits, the 0 day activity. I think it's only going to grow.
Do you think we will see more this year than we saw last year?
I think so.
Think so?
I think so, and I'm saddened to say that, but what we have at our hands is we have vibe coders.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no offense,
no shade, no shade thrown to them at all whatsoever.
No. But we have vibe coders. We have more developers using AI.
Mm-hmm.
We have Microsoft and other big companies like literally forcing AI, Copilot being forced on people, Gemini getting forced. And what I think is we have been getting this major software push to the marketplace faster.
Mm-hmm.
And it is without the careful security checks of deploy. And then you have more criminals using AI tools that are better and at their hands, and they don't care how many tokens it uses. They have all the money that they need. They're well funded. So the reality is that you've got two things coming to fruition at the same time.
Yeah. Let's make sure we're being absolutely clear for chat. What we're not saying is AI is going to create net new 0 days. We think we think that the ability to accelerate the discovery, the exploitation, the active exploitation, and the post exploitation, that could be accelerated with the current capabilities.
100%.
Yeah. I'll give you that one. I think I don't know. So I struggle with this prediction for one reason.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, ignorance is bliss. Let's put it that way, right? People using software-enabled coding assist has been around for a while. Even if you consider Substack, right? People have been using open source libraries for decades, right? People have been using other people's GitHub projects for decades, right? That has been going on forever. I think we have a quality control issue more than we have an AI 0 day issue. I think this takes us back to the early 2000s, the early 2010s of the internet, where there is a proverbial gold rush to put things out on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have speed, you can have quality, or you can have it for cheap. And people are choosing speed and cheap and leaving quality at the door.
Yep.
And I think that I think that what we will see, what I think, and I say this for my aspiring pen testers and my aspiring bug hunters in chat, I think there's more opportunity now than there ever was for you to be out there helping vibe coders, helping, startup accelerator companies secure their environments.
Yeah. I mean, so instead of, being arrested for creating, the malicious code, what you could be doing is getting paid, for helping find the bugs in
Was that a reminder to one of the things that I wanted to talk about this morning that I told you I wanted to talk about this morning? I appreciate you, Jason.
Maybe.
I got two. That reminds me. I got two things then. So thanks, Jason, for the reminder. The first one, what Jason's talking about, and this one I had to, this one flew under the radar, Jason. There's probably not many people who saw this one fly under the radar. But last week, Brian Fleming, who was the CEO of the company PC Tattletale. PC Tattletale was allegedly, what a great name, by the way, was allegedly stalkerware, meaning that this dude Brian went out and publicly advertised that you could download his software, pay him a subscription fee, and use it to spy on your spouse to see if they were cheating. With his real name, with his real bank account, actually running it like a company. And the reason that this is shocking to me, chat, is because it is still a crime. It is still a violation of wiretap laws, even if you run a business to produce a rat and sell it.
Chat, I've got something better for you. Just go use Ring. Go install a Ring. Put them all around the house. There's other alternatives that are less invasive, that'll fly underneath the radar if you need to do that.
That are less likely to land you in jail. I mean, listen, Bay, you're not fundamentally wrong, but he did end up pleading guilty in a San Diego federal court to computer hacking related offenses, including the selling and advertising of surveillance software for unlawful uses and conspiracy. And it worked exactly like you would imagine it worked. You would download it, you would then install it onto your spouse's phone, and it would take screenshots, read messages, track activity, send it all right back to a server that this dude Brian and his company would monitor. It was digital, illegal surveillance of American citizens by another American citizen. And his argument, chat, was that because he had a company, he had an LLC, that should have made it legitimate, when in fact, it was not.
All right, well, you might not be able to use Ring for that exact duplicate application.
That exact use case?
But, you could use it for other things.
All right, I have one more, Jason, and then we'll call it for today. Now, I'll remind chat before I say this one, we're going to keep chat free of any racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, and also politics. So no politics inside of chat for this next one, because I realize that what I'm about to say is slightly controversial, but it is cybersecurity related, which is why I want to bring it up. We rarely hear these days about hacktivist opportunity. If you remember a couple years ago, things like Anonymous, things like LulzSec, groups on 4chan were doing a ton of hacktivist activity. And quite honestly, Anonymous has really died down from a publicity perspective ever since the Subu incident, years and years and years ago. There was an article published over the weekend that I thought was super interesting. If anybody remembers the big stir on X over the flock cameras on Shodan, if you remember how people had discovered that all the flock cameras, you could go search for it on Shodan, and then you could get access to these flock cameras to see everybody. Well, apparently, hacktivist hackers were using that to fight back against ICE in some of their surveillance states. So they had discovered that hackers were using the flock cameras that were publicly accessible to the internet to track the license plates of ICE vehicles in neighborhoods and dropping that information onto websites, WhatsApp groups, and other things to help these organizations track and evade ICE. And so I just thought that was super interesting, where it's we all made the big deal because we're like, oh, let's go look at these cameras. These cameras are awesome. Hacktivism is still a very active thing out there. And this is an example where we're seeing hacktivists use that type of OSINT and public source information to help us. Whether you believe in the ICE stuff or not, that's not the point of the conversation. They're using it to help evade ICE and help other groups with that role.
I think it's unfortunately it's being used that it is. It's ingenuity, right? There is ingenuity behind it, like any sort of hacktivist type of activity. I do agree. I think the story is worth noting. Like,
Yeah.
this is what's actually taking place, and I would furthermore. I think the learning moment here is to know what type of equipment you're deploying,
Yeah.
what vulnerabilities it has, and can somebody out, like, I mean, be careful where you put cameras.
This could easily be used for nation state, like we talked about. It could easily be used for
Yes.
ransomware games. It could be gangs. It could easily be used at a lot of other nefarious stuff. Whether you applaud the story or not is irrelevant. It just
Right.
shows how motivation, time, and a mission really facilitates that hacker mindset.
Yeah, yeah, it's good stuff.
It's good stuff.
I'm still excited to be here in the space.
Absolutely. Every day, man. Every day. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in for the threat briefs. We will be here every Monday moving forward this year. We made that transition late last year, in terms of going to every Monday. So, Jason, I appreciate you and your commitment to being here every Monday. With that being said, thanks to everybody across all of our platforms, YouTube, Twitch, X, both the streaming and the spaces. I see we had a couple people tune into the spaces, as well. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. That test seemed to work out. In terms of streams this week, we'll have Old Guy Wednesday on Wednesday. Yes, for real this time. And then we'll have Tea with a Hacker, assuming my sales guys stay out of my meeting schedule. With that being said, Jason, you want to send us off for the day?
Yeah. So next week, we are probably not going to stream on Monday.
Forgot about that. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah. So unless something changes, but both Neal and I plan on being out of office next week on Monday. So
Forgot about that.
So just give you guys a heads up. Otherwise, it's been awesome talking with you guys this today, and bid you an awesome week. I can tell you this, even though that we're out of office, we'll still be paying attention to what's going on in the cybersecurity space. We'll be fired up to come back and have another live stream with you the following Monday.
Absolutely. So, all right, Jason, I'll talk to you later, sir.
See you guys.
Cheers.
To the grind like I never left. This my year, I know that I'm next. They playing checkers, I play chess. Moving in silence, make them all guess what I'ma do. Ready for more, got nothing to lose. Break down the door when I'm coming through. And they don't control the way that I move. I do what I choose, give me the play and I'm running it. Shout out the fans who bumping it. They know I'm a man, I've been in demand. I made a few M's, I'm loving it. And I made a beat, you know that it's knocking. Keeping receipts whenever they talking.